Good evening. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to give you an account, something that's in Mel B's The Spice Girl, one of the Spice Girls. Mel B details her failed 2014 suicide attempt. And I will leave the description of this article. It's an article from the Wonderwall publication, wonderwall.com. In her upcoming book, Brutally Honest, Melanie Brown's opened up about some of her darkest days, including her 2014 suicide attempt and her cocaine use during her toxic marriage. In exclusive excerpts in Britain's The Sun newspaper, Spice Girl Mel B explains how she tried to kill herself in December 2014 by taking 200 aspirin. She was 39 at the time and in the bathroom of her rented house in London's Kensington neighborhood after having returned from dinner with her then husband Stefan Belafonte. That week she was about to start taping the live semifinal show for her gig as a judge on Britain's The X Factor. She felt, she explains, like my life is a mess and I want out. Behind the glitter of fame, I felt emotionally battered, estranged from my family. The America's Got Talent judge marriage was in tatters. I felt ugly and detested by the very man who once promised to love and protect me. She writes, adding that Stefan had a library of sex tapes that could ruin my career and destroy my family. She counted as she started taking the aspirin. As each pill goes into my mouth, I ask myself, are you sure? And I would take 1, 10, 20, 50, 100. Are you sure? She writes in that moment, She writes in that moment she was. Mel penned a note to eldest daughter Phoenix from her first marriage, asking her to get her younger girls, Angel with Eddie Murphy and Madison with Stefan, to their grandmother's house in Leeds, England. Mel took more aspirin, but when she got to 200, she realized she didn't want her life to end. As soon as I swallowed the last pill, I knew I didn't want to go anywhere. Suicide was not the answer. I had to make my life count. I had to get to the hospital. I had to get those pills out of my stomach before anything happened, she explained. She tried to get out of the bathroom, but the door was jammed. She flung her body against the door repeatedly, suffering bruises. She collapsed and remembered drifting in and out of consciousness before ending up in a hospital where doctors saved her. There she experienced the saddest moment of my life when she woke up and daughter Phoenix asked her over and over, "Why, Mom, why?" Mel writes that she called colleague and boss Simon Cowell, who didn't sound horrified, just calm, like he knew that's what I needed from him. She remembers that all the Spice Girls reached out to her, as did her family, but she was too ashamed to speak to them. Even though she was in extensive care and serious damage to her liver and kidneys, she was hell-bent on returning to the X Factor right away against doctors' wishes. She texted her stylist and chose a sleeveless dress for the next taping. I would stand proud in this stunning white dress, the marks of my agony all over me. I asked for my hair to be pulled back away from my face. I needed to be seen. I needed all those bruises to be seen. Mel writes she also took off her wedding ring to send a message to Stefan. There's no going back. I'm going to leave him, get a divorce. I'm going to be free. She did not, however, file for divorce until March 2017, after they had been married for 10 years. In her book, The Sun reports, Mel also writes about how she was snorting 5 or 6 lines of cocaine a day while shooting the X Factor to help her cope with what she claims as an abusive marriage. I was a sad, pathetic person. I was out of control, she explains, sharing that she would snort 2 lines of coke as soon as she woke up to get herself motivated to face the day. Then pray, apologizing to God and begging to help to get through. It numbed my pain. It lifted me up enough to be ready to fire on all cylinders and forget about everything but the show. She also did it, she writes, to get me through living with Stefan, which felt like neurotic claustrophobia. On so many levels, I felt myself sinking. I had a routine. I was ashamed of what I was doing, but I felt I had to have it. So, wow. And reading that, how could someone be so desperate to do that when they're in a failed marriage? And instead of leaving, stay there and just take that abuse again and again. I know when the tabloids were bringing things out where, she was on drug use, and then later on her soon-to-be ex was saying that she was a drug addict and she did this and that. So I remember reading those things in articles in the newspaper and online. But to leave your children. I know a lot of people feel so desperate. They feel their self-esteem is shot. That man that you're with just shoots at you and digs in you and tears at your self-esteem. I can imagine some people, and I've heard of guys telling the woman, nobody wants you but me. Nobody's going to want you. And that's why a lot of times the man go by the face. And, it goes both ways. The woman, they batter men also. But to want to commit suicide, that's why there's a lot of shelters and facilities to help. Now, that may not have been an option for her. She was in England, but I'm sure over there they have shelters. I'm sure that they have resources, but sometimes when you're just so low, you don't even think about the resources. You just want out. And she says that in her book. She says she just wanted out. So I'm glad that even though when she took that last 200 aspirin, when she took the last one, she decided she wanted to live. Now this is all in her book, and anything I say against him is alleged, because I don't know. Now Simon Cowell, he would remember if she called, so that would be receipts. And then the Spice Girls would know of this incident. So it could easily be verified with them. If this was not any truth into it, it could be verified by Simon and the other Spice Girls who, had her back behind this. But I just urge you women, if you're in a situation and that marriage is unbearable, or to the men, if you're in a situation that the marriage is unbearable, go somewhere that other person don't know, another relative, a hotel if you can, but to end your life, just think about how your children would feel. Just think about how your relatives, your mother, your dad, your siblings, think about the agony and the questions they would have for a lifetime if you took your life. So this article I just felt was very important to bring out, very timely, because I have spoke on these subjects a couple of times. I've spoke on this very subject. Suicide is a hard subject. It's a difficult subject to to know someone that's feeling like that. And it's a difficult subject, even just reading about it. So I am going to end this video, end this audio right here. And if you have not subscribed, please do so and click that notification bell and leave a comment if you'd like. And just think about this story. As I stated, I will leave a link in the description so you could read it again. And everyone, this is the Sunday night that I'm recording. So be careful the next week. I know this is a lot of people have taken next week off because of the Thanksgiving holidays. So everyone drive safe, be careful, and take care till next time. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.